Hello, this is FightMe, and in this video I will show you how to counter one of the strongest factions in Rome 2. And in the same time I will teach you guys some very powerful tactics which you can use with every faction. So your question might be, what is the strongest faction that I'm talking about? Some of you can already guess it, but it's Tylis. Tylis got the strongest and tankiest mid-tier units in the game, which makes this faction in land battles but also in siege battles one of the strongest picks. So your first step to counter a faction like Tylis is to basically bring a faction which is also very strong. For the people that don't know which factions can really stand up to Tylis, I will put them here on the screen. You can pause it if you want to take a closer look. In this extremely close tournament battle, I chose the faction Boya, which is also very strong, but Boya's mid-tiers, the sword followers, will lose eventually against the tribal warriors of Tylis, which is for both of us the main unit of our army. So yeah, that will have a big impact on the battle, so I will have to compensate that with my cavalry plays, my infantry tactics, etc. So with that in mind, I chose this army, not the Austrian general, but the Cav general, with some heavy horse and levy freemen, with obviously the bulk sword followers. My opponent with the name Kali went with the infantry spam army. He took no slingers and no melee cav. But the one weird thing is, he brought 3 javelin cavalry, and he brought the Thracian cavalry. Well, if you watched my previous video, you should always go with the raiding horsemen over the Thracian horsemen for Tylis. The Thracian horsemen are not bad, they are cheaper, but the raiding horsemen are just so much better for the price. And furthermore, you got 2 Oathsworn we need to watch out for. So the horse archers have done some skirmishing, but it wasn't too bad for me. I zoned them off with my cheap units. But the battle's about to start, and as you can see, I'm starting to charge with my cavalry, even my general, head on, because I know a head-on charge into levy freemen will demolish them. And even though they retreat and I get a charge into the tribal warriors, it will still disrupt their main front. And then if I follow it up with my sword followers or ex-warriors, the tribal warriors charge will be much worse. So yeah, that's also what I did, and as you can see, my infantry are getting close, and you got to wait until your infantry is really close to it and then retreat your cavalry. This will give your opponent very little time to counter-charge all your infantry that is charging. This is also for you one of the most hectic and most micro-intensive parts of the battle. And yeah, as you can see here, I didn't get a counter-charge into the tribal warriors. That's a mistake. You can make mistakes, don't be worried about that. But you got to know which things are the most important to micro. So yeah, getting a counter-charge on the tribal warriors is important. But pulling out your cavalry too late is even more catastrophic. So microing my cavalry at that moment was a higher priority. And that's how you need to learn to play your battles. Once you learn which unit at what time is the most important to micro, you will become a master at land battles. So as you can see, I'm slinging my own units in the back, so I will have to stop that, and I'm now focusing at their 2 Oathsworn units. My 4 sword followers in the back are now getting ready to psycho-charge with my infantry in the front line. And as you can see, my slingers are starting to do some HP damage to their Oathsworn, which is very important. And there we go, the first infantry psycho-charge of the game. I really need that in this battle, because my infantry is definitely outmatched by his infantry. And by selecting more cavalry and more missile units, your fight will become an uphill battle. So I'm forced to have some very nice slinger shots, crazy cavalry charges, and nice infantry maneuvers to turn the battle around. Just like I did here, I saw an angle for my infantry to throw their pila, and yeah, I got some extra free kills with that. But unfortunately, as you can see, my main front is starting to crumble. Their infantry is just too strong and they just have too much. So yeah, I'm just putting a depleted ex-warrior in there to shoot their Oathsworn and all their infantry units, which is the only way I can kill their Oathsworn, because I can't kill them with my own infantry. And looking back, I should have retreated this sword follower, because any unit close to your Oathsworn should be retreated. Just sling it and charge it with your cavalry. But over here, a tribal warrior was standing alone, so I thought, yeah, free chance to get a clean charge into that tribal warrior. And yeah, over here also with my sword follower, so I'm getting some clean charges off, which is important. And looking at the balance of power, it's definitely in favor of Tylis, so I need to do some crazy stuff. And to be fair, I definitely took a risk to take the ex-warriors instead of the 9 sword followers, which I usually do, but it's alright. And over here I definitely made a big mistake by not pulling out my cavalry early enough, but yeah, mistakes are always made. And over here we got an Oathsworn ready to destroy that whole flank, which is pretty scary. And this general is also doing a pretty good job at chopping down my sword followers. Nonetheless, I got a pretty good psycho charge off with that sword follower, and my cavalry is trying to go around to get some back charges. He has no slingers, so I can shoot at every unit I want without getting shot back. So I'm doing some quick damage to that Celtic warrior unit. And yeah, this right here could have been the decisive moment in the battle if I didn't retreat my units over there, because that Oathsworn would have absolutely destroyed them both very fast. And I really need to make sure that Oathsworn is not getting too many kills, because otherwise my chances of winning are decreasing every second. And over here, instead of getting charged by the Oathsworn, I got a charge off into the tribal warriors with that sword follower. This one Celtic that was in the back is also getting a nice charge off. And to be honest, so far it's not going too bad. But unfortunately, the balance of power is telling us something else. But yeah, the most important thing is to never give up. Your opponent can get cocky and make some mistakes, or something else big can happen. And that was also my mentality at this moment in the battle, because witnessing that Pila volley definitely hurts you mentally. So at this moment in the battle, I haven't lost any cavalry units, but they are all very depleted. My general is down to 30 men just from the beginning of the charge. They focused it down heavily with all their Pila units. And yeah, I'm slinging down this Ocean very nice, which is very much needed. I can engage it with my Levi Freeman, because losing my Levi Freeman is not too bad and it can hold him off for a little while. And here again, another Pila volley. Damn, that hurts a lot. But I'm getting nice Pila with my Levi Freeman back, so that was good. The Ocean charging me now in the back, but I'm getting some non-shoot shots into it as well, so it's a fair trade, I would say. I'm finishing off his last raiders, or at least his last Thracian cavalry, which is important to keep my slingers alive, of course. His Oswern is retreating probably for a psycho charge. I charge into this Levi Freeman. I'm probably breaking it right now, and then I can charge into the backs. And that is exactly what I'm doing, to try and finish off that one little tribal warrior that's fighting my Levi Freeman. And yeah, my right flank is looking very stable. I'm winning most of the engagements, but my left flank is definitely crumbling with that little Oswern. So yeah, that's a little bit troublesome. There are a lot of units still. I'm not sure if that Levi Freeman will win eventually the fight, but yeah. I'm slinging his units non-shield side, which is very powerful. Never let that happen, so this one Celtic warrior is doing a great job just by holding him off. But the one bad thing is, there we go, the little Thracian cavalry unit charged into my Levi Freeman, breaking it, which is very bad, because if that didn't happen, I would probably win the battle right here, just by breaking all the tribal warriors with non-shield shots. So that was a very good play by him. I didn't see it coming. It's actually my mistake, but it's alright. You can make mistakes, but don't let it bother you too much and just focus on the rest of the battle. My right flank is looking very strong. I still have some cavalry units, but losing my Celtic slingers was pretty bad for me. But yeah, as you can see, he's running away with his cavalry unit, probably trying to get some more charges in. And I knew the biggest threats for me were his two Oswern units right now. So I'm trying to get some nice charges in with my cavalry and Pila volleys in to try and kill them off, because fighting them will be a pain in the ass. And that's what I'm doing right here. I got a nice Pila volley off and a nice charge off with my cavalry into his Oswern, and that should break it. But the unfortunate thing is, he's coming back with his Thracian cavalry, finishing off that one Celtic slinger. But that's alright, I'm breaking his tribal warriors with my Levi Freeman. MLG Levi Freeman, they're just so strong. So at this moment, if you look at the balance power, I pretty much got it in the bag. I'm finishing off his last units that are surviving, and that basically wraps up the battle. So let's speed run through this, and let's start looking at the stats and what units did great and what units did a little bit less. I had a blast playing this tournament. I hope you guys also enjoyed watching it with me, and if you did so, make sure to hit that like button. So looking at the kills, my cavalry definitely won me the battle. I got like 180, 160, 240 kills with my cavalry, most of them with his chevron. And to be honest, my slingers were also MVP, even though one got absolutely destroyed. The other two got 50 and 60 kills, but with a chevron, so that means they killed the Oswern, which was very important. And overall, my sword followers did average. They had trouble fighting the tribal warriors, of course, so I'm pretty happy how it performed. My opponent did a really good job, but he had almost no cavalry to defend himself with. But yeah, GG's. If you want to know more tips and tricks how to play land battles, make sure to watch this one. Now I'll see you guys there. Bye bye.